So I got the fuse panel all put back together. I wired up one key-on fuse for the ECU and one key-on fuse for the injectors. This is supposed to be a 3, and then I'm pretty sure this is a 10. So, but I just don't have a 3, so I'm using a 5 right now. But they have them at the local auto parts store. So yeah, I just tapped into the fuel pump relay ground on the other side, and I ran that to my ECU inside the car. And I just kind of electrical taped off the original wire, or the ground signal wire that went to this. So I experienced a little bit of an engine bay fire, so these two wires right here are kind of scorched, and then these two are scorched. So this is the temp wire, so if this gets bridged, and this pump turns on. I think this goes to the inside of the car, and it's like for like your heat, and then it obviously turned on this fan. So I have them separated. I need to rewire them, just cut them off, because they're fine like right here on the wire, but much past that they're pretty bad. But they're just regular terminal connectors. I have a bunch of these, so that's no big deal. And then this got burnt up too, but this goes to the warm-up regulator, not the warm-up regulator, but the this 6th injector over here, which I'm not even using anymore, so I don't really care. It only pulses on for like right when you first crank over the engine, and it's cold. So I think I'm just gonna chop the wire off way down here. So that doesn't really matter. It's not like actually bridged or anything like that. I tested it, it's fine. So I put this fuel rail in, and it touches right there, right at the bottom where that's supposed to be. So I actually had to move this piece up from down here, because else it would be like here, and the throttle would be about that much open when it's supposed to be down here. So also, yeah, I got some metal shavings. I gotta clean that up. That's just from the file down right there. But yeah, so I gotta put the boot back on for this. Also, this is loose because I have to tighten up all the intake manifold screws. There's 8 of them, and the one that goes right here, I don't know if you can see it, not this one, but there's one right next to it, and it's a bitch. You have to get at it with these, and they have a ball end on the bottom, and it's just, you can't get it down here. You probably see it rubbed through. Well, I've rubbed through all the garbage. It's getting down to like the actual metal itself, but it's hard to get on it this way. You actually have to come at it with the small end, and this got in the way. So I had to take this entire cover off, and then push the intercooler under this plastic piece in order to get it enough out of the way. But then I also had to take off the turbo pipe. So this thing right there is actually supposed to be in there. I had to pull it down so I could push it back, so I could push that way. So I wired up all of my fuel lines. I actually snapped this adapter for the stock fuel filter. I snapped the first one, so that was kind of an expensive mistake. But I just made sure to tighten it up until it wouldn't leak anymore, and just connected my AN fitting. These are super easy to make if you know how to make them. So yeah, So this comes in from here. I have it running along this edge, and then it goes under, and then it goes down, and then back up. You can see it kind of goes around, because I have to get around this pipe, and then it's got the little Michelin Man hose. So then it goes into here, goes all the way through the fuel rail, takes a 90, and then comes out right back up here, and then it goes down, and then around into the fuel pressure regulator. Speaking of which, I have to connect that boost line to right there. So, and I gotta plug these two lines. I don't even know what they do anymore. They had like a pressure differential thing, like a diaphragm that this one would connect to, and then this would go into it. But yeah, I don't really know what it does. And this one specific vacuum line is the one that actually controls the ECUs. So basically, as long as I have this here and these are plugged, I'm not gonna care. So anyway, so yeah, I got to run that vacuum line to there, which is not a big deal. But you can see actually I still have some fuel pressure in here, because I have the stock fuel system all the way up to here. So I still have that, I don't know what it's called, the stock. It just keeps the fuel pressure at like 3 bar for 10 minutes, and then whatever it's called, the pressure accumulator. Anyway, so I didn't have this tightened up all the way, so when I did the fuel pressure test, it started leaking a little bit, but that's okay. This isn't leaking, it leaks right from under this, so it kind of gets everywhere. But nothing was pouring out of this or this, and then this just goes back to the return line. So I had to buy one of these weird ass adapters from Earl's, but it's not leaking. I'm kind of surprised because this has a flare on it and this doesn't. It's just a flat end. It's not flared, so I thought it was gonna have some issues with that, but not. And it was at 4 bar when I first powered it on, because I didn't have this adjusted. So, and you know, this little top piece was the only thing that leaked. So I just screwed it on a little bit tighter. It was angled like this way, and now it's angled this way. So hopefully that stops it. I can always just put some more of that tape on it or whatever, but that's no big deal. So stepping inside the car, you can see I have my Mega Squirt connected. I have I think only 4 wires connected. I have my injectors, positive, all the ground wires. Then I have my fuel pump relay, and then I already said my injectors. So yes, I only have a few wires hooked up. I still need to do my throttle position sensor, but the Audi throttle position sensor isn't really like a resistive throttle position sensor. It's got like one of those weird like 3 section. So I gotta find a suitable replacement for that. So I have yet to wire that up. You can see the stock ECUs right there. I just tapped off a vacuum line from there. Everything is still sealed up. So I got one of these also Bluetooth adapters. I don't have my laptop with me, but yeah, it works. I have everything hooked up, like I said, except for the throttle position, coolant, and then intake air temp. So I gotta hook those 3 up, and then I should be good. I just ran the wires all the way down there. So there's a light on just because my door's open, but I think if I close it in a second, that should go away. But the fuse box is literally right there on the other side. So all I did was have to pull 3 screws for this, and then like 4 screws, 2 on each side for the lower dash panel. It all just totally came out. It was super easy. I could literally just reach my hand in and stick the wires up, and so I just did that for the 2 positive wires, and then for the ground for the injectors I just ran it up and then around the outside of the car, under this little panel right here. I just took it off. But yeah, that was super easy. So I just did all of that, and then I took the stupid ass aftermarket radio that someone wired up. They wired it to full-time power, so I just took this panel out so that it wouldn't turn on. And then I just leave it out because I'm not going to be jamming out in my car if, you know, it doesn't run. So I just put it in the little bay there. But yeah, I had to take like, I think 2 screws out of this little side panel. One of them was like right there, right here, and then I think there was one up right there, and then this thing just popped off. It has a little, like, I don't even know what they're called, but they like kind of hold on the door panels. Like once you get all the screws out, you just pop it out. It's one of those. So there's one down here as well. You just pop it out. Super easy. For being first time at all of this stuff, really, this dashboard, at least the entire lower half of it, has been so easy to take apart and run wires to. And like getting all the like multimeter stuff sorted out and like checking for continuity and stuff like that. I didn't really think it was going to be that easy, but yeah, I also had to take this out just so I could run the wires around and get all that sorted. But once this is out, this is once again like 2 screws. There's like a screw right there in the back, you probably can't see it, and then there's 1 screw right there. So it just pops out. Like you just lift it out just up a little bit for the little thing that holds this on. By the way, that's cracked, so that's kind of annoying. You just have to get it up over this little lip, and then it just pops out. It's no big deal. The only thing is, after I've put it back on, it doesn't really want to close all the way. Like it gets to here, and you can like push these in and it's fine. But then it just doesn't really want to click all the way up. So I think that just is because one of these wires is in the way, but it's really not a big deal. I just wanted to put it in here so that I could test this out. I'm gonna have to end up taking this back off so I can run the other couple wires from here. Also, I can't de-pin all of these. They're actually soldered on in this connector. So that kind of sucks. I thought I was just gonna be able to pull them out and then I wouldn't have to worry about all that, but yeah, no, I'm not unsoldering all those wires. Who knows? I did a pretty good, I'd say an okay job tapping off the wire that I needed for the TAC signal. But I don't know, still iffy on it. I don't really want to ruin the stock system, but I say ruin like I'm fucking just annihilating every single wire. I'm really not, but I just want to make sure I don't mess anything up. So kind of like a little update from what's happened last time. I have some extra wire around. I actually have an entire roll of a pretty thick wire in some that's like that, that's like 16, 14 gauge. So I guess that's my next task. Getting that through the firewall, and then when I bought this 034 Motorsports fuel rail, they said, oh yeah, like this is no big deal, like, you know, this will just interfere, and that's, you know, not a big deal. But yeah, I had to sand this down my throttle body in order to get it on. So yeah, maybe a little bit of an oversight there, but that just means that I can't put, you know, the Michelin Man hose obviously I can get it on this side, no problem, but I can't get it on this side, so I might actually have to buy their O3 Motorsports like silicone hose. This one doesn't have any leaks. I mean, it is old, but and it probably needs to be replaced, but I'd rather work with what I have now and get that working rather than, you know, buy another like $60 part. But yeah, it's just way too thick. Like, it's already a friction fit there. I mean, I'm adding that much more space, and this doesn't really compress, so yeah, it just doesn't want to go on. I also replaced my spark plugs because just on the coil there's just stuff like this, you know, holes poking through. And let's see if I can pull this out to show you guys, but I mean, like, yeah, nah, I'm just not dealing with that. And this is, you know, really like relatively cheap for what it was. Just, you know, I wish they would have cut it better. They cut these three the same exact length, and then they cut these two like half. So I have like just barely enough room for this one, and then these two I have a ton of room, and then I mean these two are fine, but whatever. It's just kind of wish this one was at least just a little bit longer. Tack, I guess. That's kind of annoying. We've also got probably, whoa, chill out. Probably got 2-month-old gas in here. So